Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Domingo. I hope you are doing well and having a great week so far. I thought I would do this quick video for you to give you some tips on your second paper, which is due this Sunday on or before 11:59 p.m. Now that we're up to Module 7, again, I wanted to give you some tips, and so here we go. So what we want to do today is I want to just do a quick class review up to where we are so far in class. Where we are in the present is paper number 2 that's due, and then just the future, the end of class, and then what to expect for next quarter. Yes, it is already time to start thinking about spring. So if you have not registered already, please start that process, and we look forward to seeing you in the next quarter as well. So with that, my encouragement to you is to start strong, stay strong, and finish strong. I have, over the past 6+ weeks, have enjoyed a lot of our conversations on leadership, on developing leaders of the future, and I have been working on a project here with the School of Applied Leadership in bringing a leadership development project to a local organization. And it's been great because a lot of the concepts we've been talking about in class about modeling the way, encouraging individual initiative, encourage the heart, challenging the process, all these exemplary practices we've incorporated. And so with that, this is great. So my encouragement to you, as I want to encourage you in this regard, since that is part of our theme here the past couple weeks, is to continue to stay strong. You're doing a great job in class. I love our discussions, and finish strong. So with that, here is the quick review of our class so far. Kouzes and Posner, The Leadership Challenge, is a book that I hope you'll continue to refer to long after you take this class. And these transformational leadership principles are just embedded and so rich with practical tips on how to be a good leader. And so here they are: model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. And you see each exemplary practice has some tips for you. So, for example, in modeling the way, model the behavior that they expect from others, clear about own guiding principles, people first, follow the person and then the plan. If you're enabling others to act, it's a reminder that leadership is indeed a team effort. It's not just about you, it is about a team effort, and each person has their part and plays a role. I love personally inspiring a shared vision, because this is where you're pointing to the future of what could be and helping others see that, hey, the things that I'm doing really relate to what the future looks like for the organization, whether it's your school, your business, your government, whatnot. I think this is the aspirational side of leadership. And I think encouraging the heart is huge too, because as we've talked about over these past 2 weeks, it is about recognizing people for who they are. They're people, and getting to the core of what motivates individuals, to appreciate them in a way that is recognized by them. So I know in our discussions we talked a little bit in terms of how people like to be recognized. And so some people like to be recognized with fireworks and fanfare, and some just want a simple thank you. So good leaders are cognizant of those dynamics. And so, again, the 5 exemplary practices, I hope you consistently refer to this. These are things that I strive for. And remember, each practice by itself is good, but when all 5 work together, that's amazing. Okay, let's talk about your paper. This Sunday, obviously, it's due on Blackboard. It is a synthesis paper, which again, synthesis requires you to incorporate a leadership theory. So this is where you can draw back to good old 606, or sometimes you were in 605, but 606, the leadership theory and analysis. This was about how you incorporate that leadership theory into the leadership development plan for the organization. So remember, when you are synthesizing, think about when you mention, let's say, the trait approach to leadership, or the situational approach, or even leader-member exchange. How do those theories overlap? How do they even inform your leadership vision synthesis? paper. So remember, you're going to talk about the current state of leadership, an introduction obviously to the organization. You're going to overview the organization's key initiatives and the strategies being used for these initiatives. And then a vision for leadership development. This is where you're going to incorporate leadership theory. So let me give you a practical example. Let's say the vision for leadership development is to give everybody the skill in communication. Well, communication could be one of the behavioral aspects of leadership, and so behavioral leadership theory would suggest so-and-so. Let's say you want to help everybody be a better servant of others in the organization. Well, servant leadership suggests that so on and so forth. And so how this looks like and what this looks like in the organization, this is what happens. So what happens when you combine, let's say, servant leadership and a behavioral approach? What could happen in the organization? So think along those lines of combining theory, which requires you to know the leadership theory. Of course, remember APA. It is important. That means a cover page, an abstract, and references. Now, one of the things that I like to think about on this paper is the planning and execution nature of this. So in leadership and planning, the first thing you want to do is think about developing your plan. You want to define what the mission, vision, what the goals are, and then translate the plan. What are the tactical plans and objectives? What are the scenarios happening? And then 2 and 3 here, the plan operations. Define the goals. How are you going to know when you've reached this milestone, for example? And then you execute it and then monitor it. So really this paper is about 1, 2, and 3 here. It is the need for the plan, obviously talking about the organization, and the plan itself, what are the key initiatives, and what the leadership theory that informs the plan is. Okay, so just start thinking about that. Now, here's the final tips for success. When you talk about the current state of leadership development, you want to describe and use terms from the literature. So the stakeholders, the plans, etc. When you talk about the key initiative and strategies, how do those initiatives align with the overall organizational goals? So if they don't align, for example, that might be something to think about or even write about. But what you want to do ideally is, how does leadership development align with what this organization does in the first place? Easy example is schools. In the school system, we want to empower more teachers with the freedom to make decisions, for example. And so this leadership initiative is helping teachers understand the budget process and what are some of the leadership decisions that go into resource management. So think about that. I want you to provide good evidence and examples. So in this organization, this is what it will look like. These are the ideas and these are the actions that will happen. And finally, a vision for the future. What is it going to look like when this leadership development plan is going to be executed? I want to have a clear argument for implementing the leadership development. Obviously show the gaps, how this leadership development plan will fill those gaps, and then of course to incorporate one or more leadership theories. Be sure as well to talk about how to address diverse perspectives. And what that means is you want to show what's it going to look like with just a different perspective, meaning a diverse, different leadership theory. This is going to be more evident for you in the 3rd paper, which is Module 10, but I want you to start thinking about that. Okay, so address that. You could address it here, but really it's going to be more applicable in your next and final paper. Okay, so again, look at the rubric. The rubric tells you a lot about the paper itself. And with that, I want to leave you with this quote from Jack Welch. Before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. Jack Welch was the former CEO of GE, went on and wrote some great books and just some great leadership stuff that he wrote. All right, with that, please feel free to contact me for any questions. I'll look forward to seeing you online. So, thanks. See you then.